Trucking can easily kill you. So in this video, I wanted to talk about one of the more sinister ways it can kill you, and that is through your health. So, story time. About 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that, I was traveling through the Midwest. I think it was in Missouri or something like that. Maybe Iowa. I don't remember exactly, but I know it was the Midwest because I stopped at a Casey's, which is primarily a Midwestern place. So I stopped at a Casey's just to use the bathroom, right? Pulled into a small Casey's with a small truck parking area. Pulled in, walked to the store. The store was maybe 200 feet from the truck parking area. Again, smaller Casey's. Go in, use the bathroom, wash my hands, come out. So I come out, and then as I'm coming out, I see quite possibly the largest guy I've ever seen in my life. I think he probably was the largest guy I've ever seen in my life. So he's walking out, and he is going toward his truck, and there's a sidewalk, right? And there's just one sidewalk with a little grassy area to the left and to the right as he's walking toward it. So this guy is probably... Now, before I say this, I am not making fun of this guy. I'm not mocking him. This is a sad story, okay? So I'm not mocking him. So, walking toward him, see him, and he's probably at least 6'5". Probably 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", something like that. He's huge. He's super tall, and he was probably minimum 600 pounds. I think easily 700 though, and he may have been knocking on the door of 800 pounds. Again, he's super tall, right? Huge, massive man. Not making fun of him. He's obese. He's totally obese. So, walking toward him, I go through the door. He's about halfway to the truck, so he's about roughly 100 feet in front of me. Walking toward him, then I just immediately notice him because, oh my god, it's a huge guy, right? Walking toward him, and then as I'm walking toward him, I'm starting to get a little closer, and then I just see him stop on the sidewalk. So he just sort of stops on the sidewalk, and I'm like, what are you stopping for? There's nothing around, right? It's just a sidewalk. Grassy areas to the left and to the right. So I'm walking toward him, and then as I'm walking toward him, I get a little closer, and then from behind, he's walking away from me, right? We're both walking to our truck. From behind, I just notice him start to do this. Like that. And he's not like having a heart attack or anything. He's not like having a stroke. He got winded on the way to his truck and had to stop to breathe. And mind you, the truck is like 200 feet away. So I was like, okay. Kind of looking at this, just like, yeesh. Okay, I guess I'll just walk around him, what do you do? But then as I'm walking toward him, I'm getting closer to him, I noticed, as I'm walking, in one hand, he's got an entire large pizza, and then in the other hand, he's got 2 liters of Mountain Dew in a bag. And I finally kind of, as I'm like maybe 20 feet away from him, I finally register like kind of what I'm seeing, right? Because this all happens in like 15 seconds, right? So I just walk toward him. Why is he stopped? Oh, he's breathing. And then, I get closer to him. Oh, wow, he's got pizza and pop. Again, I'm not making fun of this guy at all. This is sad. So I see this, and at this point I'm like 15 feet away from the guy when I finally kind of register what I'm seeing here. And then, like, in like the brief few seconds I had between when I registered what I saw him, when I passed him, I almost stopped, and it was just sort of like, hey man, you okay? Hey, doing all right? Hey, maybe eating the entire pizza and 2 liters of soda isn't the best idea. That, maybe do it a more friendly, try to be as friendly as possible. I'm not making fun of him, right? This was sad. But, I didn't do that. I was just sort of, I'm walking by the guy. I got about a grand total of 20 seconds to figure out what's going on. Again, he's not having a heart attack. He just can't breathe well. He's winded on the way to his truck. So I just sort of walk around him, and I just sort of get back in my truck. He gets back into his, which is, kind of close. But I thought about that, and I'm like, man, this was like 3 years ago. That guy is dead. He's definitely dead. Trucking killed him. It literally killed him. That's one of the main ways that guys die, through health, right? Again, I'm not making fun of this guy. This is sad. I am basically guaranteeing that 3 years later, this guy is dead. And he looked about 45, 50 years old, something like that. Between maybe 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. He wasn't an old man. And he just, lost his life because trucking killed him. So that's one of the more sinister ways that trucking can kill you. And, it's sad. For me, that is actually probably, my greatest fear with trucking. It's not getting in a head-on and then dying in 5 seconds. Okay, I get in a head-on, I die, I don't even feel it, right? Probably, maybe, hopefully, right? But if it happens, it happens. I can't really do much about it. If a car comes careening off the freeway and just, crashes into me, okay, well, there it is, not gonna live in fear, right? But, one of the things that, really kind of worries me is just slowly but surely eating myself to death, right? Because then it's you see it happening, and maybe you just don't have the discipline, or, and the job itself is extremely unhealthy, right? You just don't have the discipline or whatever to stop, and then you don't know what else to do, and then, just one candy bar at a time over the next 10 years, I eat myself to death. And for me, that's definitely probably the greatest worry about trucking, is just doing that. And when I started trucking, I pretty much made a commitment to myself that if I started gaining weight like that, I would just stop. No matter how much I liked it, I would not continue. If I could not control my eating, I would stop driving truck, period, end of story. So yeah, that is one of the, probably, it's the more sinister way that trucking can kill you, is the health. You're sitting in a chair for 10 hours a day, you're eating fast food, truck stop food, all day, every day. Exercising is very difficult because there's no gym around, and it's very easy to see why most truck drivers are obese, because that's just part of the lifestyle. It is infinitely more unhealthy than a cubicle in an office, right? At least if you're in a cubicle in an office, at least there's a gym nearby, right? And maybe you only have to do 8 hours a day, and then you can go hit the gym or whatever. Here, there's no gym. And oftentimes the weather is not conducive to going on a run or a bike ride or whatever. It's just too hot or too cold or too windy or whatever, or it's raining or whatever. And oftentimes the environment you're in isn't good. If you're in the middle of a city, you probably don't want to go on a run, right? It's kind of dangerous, right? So it's difficult. So you got to watch out for it. Now, I've managed to actually lose weight since truck driving, which is very rare. For me, the number one thing I did and continue to do is fast. So I generally don't have anything in the morning except maybe a cup of coffee. So I'll get up in the morning. I actually work out in the morning. So I get up in the morning and I work out for about 10 minutes, just do some quick push-ups, squats, whatever. I'll focus on a certain area, so I'll do shoulders one day, abs the next day, arms the next day, legs the next day, something like that, for about 10 to 15 minutes a day, right when I get up. And then I'll just get in the truck and drive. I won't even have a cup of coffee, and I'll wait 2 hours or whatever before I have a cup of coffee, and then drink a cup of coffee. It kind of holds back my appetite, and then I'll go in another 2 or 3 hours or whatever before I eat something. And you can extend it out. Maybe you go 6 hours without eating, 8 hours without eating, whatever. Maybe you go the whole day without eating. You just fast till the end of the day, which is fine. That's even better. If you're looking to lose weight, that's a great way to do it. And that's what I've done. I basically just get up in the morning, do a quick workout, nothing huge. I hardly even break sweat. It's just a morning wake up sort of thing. And then fast for anywhere between 3 and 5 hours. And this is extremely helpful because that's, almost half the day, maybe a third of the day you're up. and that's very helpful. Another thing I do is I cook my own food, so I have an air fryer in here, and I just throw a bunch of goodies in there: potatoes, chicken, bacon, butter, beef, whatever. Make a little meal, and it's really nice because an air fryer, you just cook it up, or you put whatever in there, chicken and potato or whatever. You put it in there, and then as you're driving, then you start it, and then as you're driving down the road, you cook it up. And then you do that roughly an hour and a half before you're done driving for the day, and then cook it for about an hour, stop for the night, and then you got basically a pretty good home cooked meal. So that's another strategy, and I think it's a pretty good strategy. But it's just something you got to watch out for. Trucking will kill you via obesity, via the unhealthy lifestyle. It can very easily do this, and it does happen to a lot of guys. So it's just something to watch out for. My recommendation, really, fasting that's the number one thing. Just don't eat for 2, 4, 6, 8 hours per day, and you should be fine, generally speaking. Obviously, avoid the fast food. Wendy's is good, but you generally shouldn't have it. Country Pride is good, but pretty unhealthy. Don't go to Denny's every day and have a grand sandwich every single day. It's not good. It's not sustainable. Yeah, you got to watch it. You got to eat a salad. You got to eat some fruits and vegetables. You got to do the whole thing, but it's just something to watch out for. And I thought it was worth talking about because that experience, watching that guy do that, where he just stopped and started breathing, really shook me. This was like 3 years ago, and I still remember that guy. And I know he's dead. Like, he's dead. Trucking killed him. Not through an accident, not through, anything other than food. Trucking killed him. Trucking killed him. And that is a very sad ending, because that guy was only about 40 or 50 years old. And he's definitely dead now. So just watch out for it. Watch your health, and make sure you get a little bit of exercise in when you can. And if you start gaining weight, stop driving. Do not drive. If you just can't handle it, if you're just gaining weight, stop driving. Just find a new career. It's okay. Because in the end, if you keep gaining weight and you're just unable to control it, it'll kill you. It's okay to stop. Anyways, that's my thoughts on, I guess, health and fitness with trucking. A little bit dark, but thought it was worth talking about. See you in the next one.